Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Pizza Maker 8000 back with another Toontown video. Now today I will have a special guest. Anthony, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, I'm Anthony. I'm Anthony Ranieri from the YouTube channel.
So I will leave a link to his channel down below for you guys to go in and check out his content. But we're gonna have a little duo video going on how long will Toontown servers survive. Now we're talking about in general. We're gonna go down and talk about specific, servers, whether it be Toontown Fellowship, Corporate Clash, and then we're gonna talk about written. But I want to go ahead and first start about how long do you think Toontown as a whole will survive at the rate that it's going at?
It really depends how long Toontown just the whole community will last, since it really depends. Like, say if like another big Toontown game just comes out of nowhere, that can definitely bring they can definitely help revive some people who used to be in the community back into here. But if that's not really the case, I can really see it like maybe start to like finally end, maybe like a few years, maybe like 5-6 years at most. So it really depends what would happen honestly. Like, say like maybe Corporate Clash, maybe even Tooniversal shuts down. It's like at that point it's just like most of the community is gonna leave, since they don't really have all that much variety. So like if it was only rewritten, I think a lot of people would be gone by now. But now that we have like options for like people to try out different games, see what fits them most for the kid.
Exactly.
What fits most. Yeah, so you do have a lot of options. So it really depends. If like something else comes out again, like a new big Toontown server like Corporate Clash, or if nothing really happens anymore. So it honestly, depends.
So this next question, I really want to get you on this video because I know you know way more into depth about what I'm about to ask you more than I know. I've seen you talk about it on my Discord before, but I'm going to ask you right now in depth. So I know people talked about, Jesse Shell has spoke about, bringing it back at Toontown 2, or hinted at, maybe not recently. I think you said maybe a couple of years ago, whatever. Do you think if that would have happened, if Jesse Shell, the person who was helped, had a hand in the pot of creating TTO, were to come back and create, whether it be Toontown 2 or Toontown, the best game ever, whatever they want to call it, and as an official team, not people in their basement, creating a game, like actual team making it. Do you think it would make a comeback if they went as far as, TV commercials, real advertisement and shit like that? Do you think it would make a difference and have people actually, come back to the community that used to play years ago? Or do you think it's kind of like, it's a dying MMO, even if they did that, they wouldn't see it's profitable? Because if they were to look from the outside, like, damn, we closed Toontown Online, what was it, 2013, correct?
Yes.
And now it's 2020, 7 years later, and it's like we have all these different servers going. Of course, these servers don't have, if you combine between rewritten, Clash, TVS, all this, we probably have maybe 5,000 at max in the community between all the different servers. That sound about right? Or you think it'd be more?
Oh, you kind of cut out.
Oh, my bad. I said we have about 5,000 people in the community between all the servers. If I had to say, you think that sounds right? You think it's lower or higher?
Around that range.
So do you think they would be like, hey, we have 5,000 people. Maybe if we, were to make advertising, we could jump this number up to maybe like 20,000 or whatever the case may be. Do you think that would be possible? Or you think like they wouldn't, try to rework it again and start over?
I would definitely think Disney may rework it like into Toontown something else. So if they really wanted to like bring it back, if Jesse Shell was like really dedicated, wanted to bring Toontown to the Switch, like he's said before, I think they would have to try doing something different. Like the pay subscription sort of business has sort of died since like games like Club Penguin, The Legend of Pirates Online, Toontown, Webkins has kind of been dying in a way.
I forgot about Webkins. Holy shit.
Yeah, just all those sort of MMOs. They've been dying and been losing popularity. So if Disney was like really dead set, like, hey, Jesse Shell, we want you to make a new Toontown game because we see that it's still a profitable business. It's still a profitable business. People still like the game. We want you to make a Toontown game. So if that was to happen, I think it would probably bring back a ton of people. I think it would bring back a lot of old fans. It would help let people want to keep playing the game. It would bring new fans. It would help bring old fans back. It would be really big. But the thing is, if Disney was to do something like this, it would probably be in a bad. It would be kind of mixed. It's like, will Disney put it on mobile and just kind of ruin it, or will they put it on consoles and PC, and that will and it will also do good for people who like it. Since if you know Disney, they sometime when they did Club Penguin Island, when Club Penguin shut down, they originally just met Club Penguin Island just on mobile, and no one really liked that. But they ended up putting it on mobile and PC, and it got a better reception with that. So, if Disney wanted to bring it back, they would probably have to change a few things. Like, it's not an MM. Well, it could be an MMORPG, but like certain things, like you have to pay to play the game monthly. I think that would be gone. I think they would have to. I think they would probably be doing stuff like microtransactions for to get money, as long as like paying for the game and all that stuff. I think that's how they would do it.
So you think there would still be paywalls? You're saying, like, I think in what was it, Toontown Line? I think you couldn't get past the cream pie, and I think you couldn't get past like Donald's Dreamland. I mean Donald's Dock, if I remember correctly, like without buying a subscription, like it wouldn't let you.
Yeah, I don't think they would probably bring that back, since that's just gonna lead to the game shutting down again. I think what they would either do was, I think they would either make a single player game in a way, like they would just make it single player, or they would make it online, and they would make like an online version, and you still have to pay for like all the stuff you get, like Nintendo Switch Online, and also microtransactions for it as well. But I feel like Disney would still find a way for you to spend money into the game. Otherwise, they wouldn't find it profitable enough.
Of course, if they just did it for free like that, yeah, it would be pointless. But do you? Okay, so if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to, because I know like you're on good terms with all the Toontown servers and stuff. But do you think?
I'm on good terms.
Yeah, I don't want to put you in no predicament. So if you don't want to answer, by all means, we'll just skip right over this next question. But like, do you think this is what I'm curious about when saying like how long will this Toontown shit survive? Because stuff like ODS has what, 10 players, correct?
Yes.
Fellowship has 15, 20. Nowhere above 50. How long do you think these people are going to be paying to keep these servers open with little to no players on it? If that were to happen, let's just say both those shut down the next year. That means, like, that just adds to the list of Toontown servers we've lost. That would just be this year, because we already lost Toontown. What was that shit game?
Relived.
Yeah, Toontown Relived. That means we lose ODS. That means we lose Toontown Fellowship. That means we're down to really just Clash, TVS, and Rewritten. And then it's like, damn, we're getting pretty scarce on servers. When I talked to Broadway, he said he didn't really have no intentions of closing the servers down anytime soon. But, with Clash, with the 1.1 update, I feel like they were expecting a lot more players to stick to that game. When it came out, it was like 800, almost 900 players playing. Now, when I play,
I feel like they were,
the peak is like 500, barely, like 510 or something like that.
Yeah, I think they were like expecting something like an explosion of players, like how their launch was.
That's what I was thinking,
like
exactly. So now it's like, damn, they're like, damn, we just put X amount of time and effort and years into this update, and now it's like, ooh, we didn't get the reward we thought we were going to get. So if they try again, and let's say they revamp Cell Bar, they revamp Cash or Boss, or even add in the chairman, and it doesn't get the player pop, do you think like they would continue to keep the servers open, or what's your opinion on that?
It's kind of hard to tell. I think the team would probably lose a lot of motivation, like how Disney did with like online. So like they were kind of losing motivation with online, how like after 2008 the game, like after 2008 after the CEO was made, they kind of just lost motivation, since Club Penguin was now their big money maker. So with like Clash though, I think if updates weren't doing as good anymore as they really hoped, I think they would probably cut short some stuff, like, hey, if we were ever going to do a Cashbot revamp, we'll do that. However, the Cashbot revamp didn't do so well. I don't think we're probably going to focus on Sellbot and Bossbot this time, since I don't think it seems worth it.
It would be pointless, yeah. If they're not, because I was really expecting, I really thought, like, when 1.1 came, I was like, yeah, we're going to probably have, 1,000 players consistently, maybe 1,200 or something like that. To see it going from, 300 peak to, like, 600 peak, which is still double, but in terms of, how it acts, I'm like, damn, bro, like, that shit, like, I was like, damn, I know that shit kind of sucks.
It does. So, it kind of makes things like them wanting to do Boardbot HQ seem like really hard on them. It's kind of like, is it really worth it at all if we do Boardbot HQ? It's like, what if people don't care anymore for Boardbot HQ after all this time has passed? And even we promised it on Project Altus back then, but it's like, it's kind of confusing and up in the air on if they really want to do it. It's also kind of why people, it's probably why people I don't know, like they're kind of worried maybe on like adding new stuff, like maybe do finish all the revamps and all that stuff. I don't know. So it would probably seem that they probably wouldn't find it worth it.
I don't know. Just me thinking about it, I'm just like, damn, do I? Because I'm talking to my Discord. I was talking about this the other day. I'm like, do I really see, Toontown as a whole, not necessarily any server being here, 2025, like even as much players as Toontown Written has compared to the rest of the community, they have, Clash is the second biggest server with, now sitting at 600. I haven't logged on Toontown Written. Is it still in the 4,000 mark, or is it like 2,500, 3,000? Like, you do know?
It's in the 25,000 to 3,000 range.
Okay, so yeah, they have a good 5-6 times or whatever what Corporate Clash has, but do you think Toontown Rewritten will be here in 2025? Like, do you think they're gonna exceed past what Toontown Online was open for, or do you think it'll be just like they'd be like, damn, we're paying to keep these servers open? I just don't see it sticking around for. I mean, it's possible it will. I know ODS has the mobile function and stuff, and I think like the owner of it works for Tooniversal, so he probably like doesn't really care to update that game anymore. But I don't know, man. It's just like I don't know how long I see these servers lasting, like just Toontown as a whole, and it's like that's why I be saying like Mega Snoop and stuff, like people that have a channel that's completely mine is a lot of Toontown right now, but didn't used to be. That's why I'm trying to revamp to other shit because what if it does end up closing down? It's like all these Toontown YouTubers like they try to switch to another game and like they lose all their subscribers, or not saying that's gonna happen to anybody, but it's just something you always gotta keep in the back of your head of like when you're in a community that's this small, and the game shuts down. A lot of people even on my videos, like I'll post a Toontown video and I can get 600 views in a day, and then I'll post a video that's not Toontown, I'll probably get like 40 views in a day. And I even see it on Mega Snoop, like he'll post a Toontown video that gets 4,000 in a day, and then he'll post something that's not Toontown, it gets like 700 in a week. So it's like people that subscribe for Toontown, most of them really only want to watch Toontown videos. So it's like to think like, damn, what's gonna happen once all these servers shut down? Because like Toontown is nowhere near as popular as it used to be. When game launched, if you look at like some of Mega Snoop's older videos or any other big YouTubers' older videos, when the game Rewritten first came out, they were getting like 300,000 views on a video. But nowadays, you're lucky to pull 10,000,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's only getting less searches, only getting less watched, only getting less played. It's like, it's slowly but surely, it is, it's going downhill. It's, as shitty as it is, I feel like, it's just going to eventually just kill itself, especially from the inside with the drama that happens with all these different servers and shit. Like, word spreads, bro. A lot of the shit that goes shady on behind the scenes, everybody hears about it, makes people not want to. I've had people on my Discord say they don't want to play X server or this server or that server just because of the shit they hear with management. They're like, oh, I didn't want to take my chance. I had people on my Discord even quit because of that whole 1.1 launch failure. Like, they were like, yeah, I was going to give Corporate Clash a chance, but, they completely blew their chances. So, and even for me, that didn't sit right with me either. People in my comments were telling me, like, it's not that big of a deal, this and that, but, I mean, what do you think? Of course, I own a Mac, so of course, they're going to be feeling a way towards, Mac not being able to play for 24 hours. But do you think that's a big deal, or do you think that was just kind of like, hey, it happens?
It's kind of, I don't know. It's like, it's a big impression. Like, when 1.1 was coming out, everyone was, like, hyping it up. It's like, it was going to be the biggest update for the year for, like, Corporate Clash, or maybe for Toontown if Rewritten doesn't update this year. But a lot of people had a lot of high expectations with 1.1 since it's been hyped ever since 2018. Everyone was wanting to go play it. And if you're going to get a bad impression with it, some people liked it, and there was also a group that some people didn't really like it. And when you have those people who didn't really like it, they kind of just give up on that game since, okay, well, we waited this long and we got this. I don't think I'm ever going to play the game again because I don't see why I should wait for these updates or I don't see why I should continue playing if we're gonna get this quality of updates.
Or
So
crashes. The optimization looks good and everything, but there's still bugs, and of course bugs are gonna come with updates. But there comes a point where it's like, damn, some of these bugs are like, for me, people that are Mac users, like when I would be in voice calls, I'm like, I can't even check my daily task. I can't even see what it is because if I go to the daily task thing, I instantly crash. I can't do the tune rewrite station, whatever that shit's called. I crash as soon as I walk into it. Just stuff like that. Like one of my friends, whenever she does a boss, she tries to she can't click on the little speech bubble to at the end of the reward. She has to close out of her game and relog every single time. Just stuff like that. Like some people might just quit the game entirely because of simple mistakes or simple problems within the game like that. So just to think of 1.1 was supposed to be hey, all the shit that went wrong, 1.1 is here to say like our optimization is fixed. The bugs, because that was the main thing. The bugs when everybody tried to play at launch, it was trashy. Nobody could log on. They're like, hey, it's fixed, this and that, and then you come with the impression of, damn, we couldn't even get on for like a whole hour. When it first dropped, it's like, damn, bro, like you're already behind schedule, and now motherfuckers can't even log on. And I get shit happens. I get completely shit happens, but in that same thing, there has to be accountability for shit like that happens. You can't just act like it's no big deal. Like I saw staff members say shit like, oh yeah, Mac's not working, that's Pog. Shit like that. I don't even know what the fuck Pog is, but shit like that. There got to be some kind of ability. When you hire people that just sit at home and masturbate all day in their parents' basement, bro, you get results like that. You get shitty workers, you get people that don't give a fuck. Nobody's getting paid. It's all volunteer, so everybody's going to use that excuse of, oh, it's volunteer. But on that same token, everybody's doing it for their own gain. Nobody's doing that shit out the kindness of their heart. I can almost guarantee you, most people, let me not say everybody, most people are doing that shit. You put that shit on a resume, hey, I worked for a game, I made X amount of models, this and that. I worked on a game that was running for a fan-made game, for X amount of time. It's all personal gain, which is fine. Benefit both parties is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you say they're volunteering, bro, you don't volunteer to soup kitchen, and instead of giving them, the fucking chicken noodles and the soup, you just give them chicken and no noodles, bro. Like you do the whole nine. If you're gonna volunteer, when you go volunteer, bro, period, you don't do half-ass shit, or like you're wrapping presents for volunteering for like orphan kids and you're like, well, I'm volunteering, so I don't even have to wrap this present. I'm just gonna toss it in the bag. You still go the extra mile. You still do what you're supposed to do, whether you go above and beyond or you just do the bare minimum. You got to be able to do shit that like you're proud to put your name on. You shouldn't be proud to put your name on some shit that's like shitty. It's a piece of shit. It doesn't work. Nothing like that. That's just how I feel about it. And I hate when people make excuses saying shit like it's a free team and this and that. Like that shit just like a repetitive, annoying excuse.
it definitely is. It's like, oh, it's like it's like whenever something bad comes up, it's like some people or fans who play the game, it's like, oh, but it's people, they're volunteering, so it's fine, we don't care. But it's like you had expectations and you wanted it to be good. Just because they're volunteering, that doesn't mean they get a free pass.
Exactly.
They don't get a free pass because the update's bad or it wasn't how you want. Like they still gotta fix their mistakes, and it's not just because it's a free team. And it's like if an update's like taking forever, at least have a reason, not just because we're volunteering, so it's who cares if the quality's not that good. It's like you want it to be the best it can.
Exactly, and it's like I'm even surprised that you were down to do a video with me because I know me in the community, I'm probably known as like a dickhead or a piece of shit because I'm pretty much the only person left that will call these servers out on their shit. As much as I love Clash, you look on my channel, most of my fucking Toontown videos are of corporate Clash, but I still call them out on their shit, regardless. If not, people just put these fanboy glasses on for re-rating, for corporate Clash, for all these servers, and they don't really just step back and take the glasses off and step back and realize like, yo, this is a problem, or no, this isn't a problem. But they always just say, just have excuses because they're just blindly following the game and they love the game and they don't want to, when people come in and they, say shit that's wrong with it, they don't like it. Like, I'm in I'm in a CFO yesterday. This happened to me like twice in the past 24 hours. I'm in a CFO yesterday and people like get mad because, I talked bad about the game. I talked about an update. Motherfuckers were like, let's green them in the CFO. But, I got prestige tune-up, so you ain't greening me, bitch. Any of y'all that try to try, I wish you luck. But, just shit like that. Like, people just don't like that. I kind of got a bad rap in the community. So, I'm even surprised that you, were even down to do this video because I know a lot of people, if I asked, they probably wouldn't want to just because of that negative attention that you're going to get if you're like, posting a video with, in a video with me.
I really don't see a problem with it because honestly, you're trying to just get a point across for a game since no one else is gonna do it. It's like someone needs to address the problem of like something of like a game. It's like people like you need to have critical criticism for a game to do well, or else the game's just gonna stay bad forever. You need someone to tell, okay, this isn't good, you need to fix this, or else people are not gonna like this, or just quit the game because they don't want this in the game, since it's game changing if you fix it or if you don't fix it at all. So you always need someone who's like telling them and just calling them out for like something for doing bad. And I'm glad that some games do like listen to criticism, but like there's some games who just don't even care at all. There's some people who think, oh no, you're wrong for having that criticism, I'm right because I like it how it is. But you always need criticism to make a game better.
I agree 100%. And like it's see, this is the thing, man. You know, these Toontown YouTubers with bigger platforms are, you know, I feel like they're scared to. They don't want to burn no bridges. They don't want to burn no bridges with, you know, whether it be Universal, Rewritten, Corporate Clash, any of these other servers. They don't want to burn no bridges. So they're not going to come out and say like, you know, this is bad, that's bad. They're just going to kindly, you know, play the same game for 7 years and not complain because that's where their money is. Chase your bread, chase your paper. You know, do what you want. But you know, at the end of the day, I can guarantee you, bro, these bigger YouTubers that just play Rewritten, constantly make walkthroughs on, you know, 7 or 8 different tunes, there's no way you're enjoying yourself, bro. You're doing that because that's where most of your fan base is, and you feel like you're stuck in a bubble of, if I post other content, you know, I'm not gonna get, you know, the love that I get on these videos, or if, you know, I burn a bridge with this game, you know, they're not gonna, you know, whatever they do for you, you know, they're not gonna look out, or whatever the case may be. So I feel like a lot of these bigger YouTubers are like scared of burn. I don't give, you know, I could give two shits if I burn a bridge with these servers, because at the end of the day, they're not putting no extra money in your pocket. They're not taking no extra money out of your pocket. It's just, you know, it's common courtesy, of course, to be friends with the developers and shit, or the people who own the game if you are creating content for it. But at the end of the day, you know, they could give a shit less whether you make videos on them or not, you know, because, you know, they're still a server at the end of the day, you know. They don't get no money in their pocket whether they have 4,000 players like Rewritten or, you know, 7 players like ODS, bro. The game still is fucking free. So that's how I see it, bro. I'm not finna kiss no server's ass, or, you know, kiss nobody's ass to try to fucking, you know, do whatever to, you know, get on their good side.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, it's even though it's a free game, you still want the best from it. You don't want the game to be bad, and if they're not gonna listen and not speak up about it, then the game's just gonna stay bad forever. Like, it's fine to have delays on updates and on games just so you can have a good end product.
Exactly.
Like you want to have a good end product at the end of the day. You don't want to ever rush an update just to meet demand. Otherwise, you're just gonna otherwise it's not gonna be good anymore, and people are just gonna keep losing faith in you for just rushing updates in a way.
And I feel like, I don't know, maybe 1.1, of course it took them 2 years, but I feel like part of it was rushed. Like, you know, there was a lot of bugs that came out with that Clo when it first dropped, and a lot of rework that needed to be done, which is good. I'm glad they're reworking it, but I feel like it probably wasn't tested to the full state of where it should have been, because like that came around, you know, that should have been common sense when it first came out of how shit it was. That should have been common sense. There shouldn't have been nobody that had to tell them to rework that can around. If they would have played for themselves, they should have known like, yo, this is not acceptable. But I feel like they put that. I feel like they put that 724 that whenever they dropped, they put that out there because, you know, they had a lot of clout around their name regarding, you know, that shit that went down with Frizzy and shit like that. So I feel like they're like, yo, you know, we're kind of trending right now. A lot of people are talking about us. So, you know, we put this out now, we probably could reach the most audience than we put it out 2 months later. So I feel like they kind of try to hurry up and put it out, and, you know, shit didn't get. I mean, you could see there's no way in hell that, you know, Mac shouldn't be able to log on, especially if you say that you support Mac and, you know, PC, you know, whether it was, because like everybody is saying like it's not a big deal if it was Mac. If you were a PC user and it happened to PC and Mac could play, I guarantee you everybody would be butthurt. You know, everybody would be pissed. But, you know, because it's a Mac and, you know, people don't use Mac, they're like, oh, that shit doesn't matter. It's not a big of a deal. But if it was reversed, I guarantee you all them fucking fanboys would have been pissed. You know, probably would have quit the game entirely.
Yeah. Like, I feel like there had to be some, like, outside pressure for, like, the people working on Clash for, like, getting the update out quickly. Like you can tell some areas, they felt a little rushed. Like, the new Bloodsucker was just a reused model. And I feel like there had to be, like, some pressure to, like, getting it out quicker. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, something, like, with management or something, they were like, guys, we gotta get this update out quick because, or else people are gonna start leaving, or else people are gonna keep leaving, Toontown as a whole, maybe, because nothing new is, like, going on. Like, Rewritten's not updating, Universal's not doing much, and we're not even doing much either, so we gotta get this update out. So, I feel like something close to that might have happened. I don't know, but it's kind of up in the air why the end product was like that. I feel like not enough testing was done. Like maybe there was not even enough testing with Mac, even in game as well. Like I'm pretty sure, like they had. I'm pretty sure, like if they had criticisms, they were just all good enough, and like were just put into the game rather than just fix it up really quick so people will still like it in the end.
Exactly. Like I'm saying, I think it was either one, they're like Frizzy was streaming our game, and when he was streaming it, we had a bunch of players, so we were kind of peaking. But now that we banned him, my players might stop watching, stop playing the game because of that. So they're like, damn, we got to do something to, the media's around them, bro. It's like it's one of the two, either the one I named earlier about, they had a lot of shit, a lot of clout around their name regarding that drama, or two, like they knew that he was streaming, it was boosting their numbers, so they're like, all right, let's go ahead, we're about to get a huge drop in numbers, so let's go ahead and make everybody happy. Let's push this shit out because I feel like when people do updates, they told us what, like 6 days, 5 days before. Like I'm like, damn. Normally they say like they kind of like hint at it and say like, hey, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. This month, end of this month, because I think they initially did say. Didn't it say it was supposed to be the end of what? Didn't they say it was supposed to be the end of June, early July, or something like that?
I think they said June.
End of June, and they end up coming July 24th. So I'm just like, yeah, everybody was hinting like, they were putting shit about the clock and just shit like that, man. I just feel like it wasn't ready to come out. A good thing it did come out, but a lot of shit, as you can see, the numbers didn't stick. So that brings me on to my next thing. How long do you think Toontown Rewritten will last? Since it's pretty much TTO's, clone of being, quote unquote nostalgic and to the core of Toontown as a whole. Do you think it'll outlast how long Toontown Online lasted, which is 10 years? What is it at 7 now? It came out in 2013, correct, or was it 2014?
Yeah, 7 years now. Well, it first started in 2013, and then released open beta in
2014. Yeah, okay.
With Toontown Written, it's so up in the air. It's kind of like no one has a definitive answer. Like Toontown Rewritten could be dying one day and then get a huge resurgence on like players, like because if you look, sometimes you can see like there's big people playing this game and sometimes promoting it, like Chandler, the person who was like
from Mr. Beast. I think it was you that sent in my Discord. I was like, wow, fucking Chandler's playing this shit. I'm like, what the? Well, they have a gaming channel, so I think they were playing on that gaming channel. But even still, then that fucking gaming channel has like 800,000 subscribers. But that's what I be saying. Like if I never played Toontown in my life and I seen like a commercial of it now that I'm 21 years old and I see the graphics of compared to today's games, I would not be interested at all.
Yeah, because especially that Toontown Rewritten's like what, like a 17-year-old game now, like
exactly.
17, 16, I believe.
Exactly. You wouldn't be interested at all. So like even it doesn't matter if fucking Mr. Beast himself put on his channel with 40 million subs. Of course people are gonna play it, but it's not gonna make as big of an impact as I think people might think because it's like it's an outdated game, bro. You got games like 2K20 where you can see people sweat dropping off their fucking head, and you got a game like this with like low texture like quality compared to like any other games that's out nowadays. Like every other game has better graphics, which is fine, but that might turn some people off. That's why I say when they held that Pandora files, bro, that's like that was super selfish if you ask me, because that could have potentially they had it for however many years they had it, or months, that could have potentially held people from trying the game out. They're like, man, this game looks alright. If it had better graphics, I would have played it. Or somebody's like, wow, those graphics are nice, and they start reading into more about what it is, like, oh yeah, I'll give it a try, and then they could have loved it, they could have hated it, but nobody even had that option because they were holding them shits for themselves. And to me, that's, again, you don't have to comment on this, I'm not trying to get you in no hot water with nobody, but to me that was selfish, bro. I just thought that that was extremely selfish just to keep Toontown Rewritten at the top. And this is the thing, if they got the files and they don't want to share them, by all means, you don't have to share them. You can keep them completely to yourself 100%. But if you're not going to implement them into your game, then why not give it to another server or give it to all the servers and leak it and let them be like, hey, you guys can use these models because we're not going to use it.
Yeah, just like release it publicly to everyone, since at the end of it's still history. It's still something that happened with Disney, and just to take what Disney made and keep it for yourself is just really selfish.
Exactly. Because I know fucking when I was talking with the dude, when I made my Toontown offline, first trying it, I was talking to him, he said like a lot of people on that team were, he even said in the videos, like a lot of people on the team were upset about that shit. Like there was like the Doodle Park that's on Toontown offline. I don't know if you've played it. This was maybe a month ago, but they had a Doodle Park. I don't know how recent it is, but that
Oh
Doodle
yeah, the
Park.
campfire place.
Yeah, that was in Toontown Online's like that was part of the Pandora shit that Toontown Rant was holding on to, and it's like damn, they didn't fucking. This is something that could have potentially gave somebody a new way to play with doodles and stuff like maybe sparking interest in doodles. Excuse me, and the fact that it didn't get released and got released through Toontown Offline, which is a smaller game compared to Toontown Rewritten, it's kind of like damn, why the fuck isn't the top dog game doing this? And then when people say, oh, they want to stick to the roots, they want to do nostalgia. It's like, you can't say that because, how long did it take for them to have doodles? How long did it take for them to have parties? Toontown Online didn't have Crash Cashbot. They add certain shit in and want to still claim they're trying to stay to the core, which, they pretty much are. They don't really put no major updates in, but if you want to stay to the core, that means you shouldn't have added Crash Cashbot. You should have True Friends. Just shit like that, bro. It's just like a lot of like wishy-washy back and forth. That's why I don't, the Toontown Written fanboys, bro, are just like the most annoying people in the world because they just make all the excuses. Then you show them the evidence, like, well, Crash Cashbot wasn't in Toontown Online. They're like, well, it could have been. Just dumb shit. You could say that about anything, man. You could say, what if a piano falls out of the sky and hits me in my fucking noggin? You could say that shit about anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So like the situation with Pandora just feels really weird, and just like rewritten. I really don't understand like their thought process. Like I've heard people say like oh, Toontown Rewritten is bad people behind it. The people who work there have done some pretty bad stuff. But it's like at the end of the day, like it's kind of weird what they on some certain decisions they make. Like let's hoard Toontown history or Disney history, all that stuff that was planned, documents, all that stuff. And hey, let's keep it in Toonfest so people can actually take pictures of it. And they that's how they'll get documents from the game. But at the end of the day, you're still hoarding that stuff. It's like, why not just release it? If there's going to be people who will actually put that stuff to good use, then just release it to everyone because people need to know this stuff because they're huge fans of the game. And just because, oh, this certain organization who was given by this from a former Disney employee, and they're not just going to give it to anyone because, oh, we can have it. That's us because now we are Toontown, basically. We're the main revival. But, like, if you're the main revival, then add this stuff. Like, be what Disney couldn't be back in 2008 because of budget issues and all that stuff. Like, be what they were trying to be. And yeah, they have been doing that with like Silly Meter, field offices, but it's like, if you're gonna have all this stuff, at least implement it. Implement the HD textures that Toontown Online was gonna do. Implement the Doodle Park that Toontown Online was gonna do. Just release it. Do something with it, then just do absolutely nothing with.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. And I just feel like, and that's what I say when this Toontown is gonna die from within. Just little shit like that eventually gets people to leave, man. Little shitty update. Imagine like if all these servers came together and made one server, and like, because I'm sure Toontown Online, Toontown Rewritten has a lot of unused shit that they're just keeping to themselves. I'm pretty sure of it. They didn't just get that one Pandora file. They got plenty of files that they're not implementing. But just imagine like that's what I'm saying. It's gonna get killed from within because just shit like that, lack of it's like all these servers are competing against each other when they're not realizing they're all on the same team. It's just lack of communication or respect for another server. They're just like, yeah, fuck it, we're the biggest and baddest server. We don't give a fuck about what these other servers are doing or anything like that, man. It just doesn't sit right with me, bro. That's what I'm saying. The drama between servers, drama between players, drama between staff and players, drama between members, this and that. All that shit is going to eventually throw this community into the ground, drill it completely into the ground, and then it's going to be no more. I mean, just think about how many people was Toontown Written peaking at when it first came out, what, 10,000?
Yeah, it was like 10,000, 5,000 daily, like 5,000 I think was like their lowest, I believe, at one point.
Yeah, and they were hitting, I remember Logano had like 11,000 or some shit, like when it first dropped, because I was part of that shit when I was waiting for you gotta wait in a 48-hour queue or 72-hour queue or some shit just to play for I think 2 hours. I left my computer on all night just so I could play, and I was part of waiting for that shit. But just like just thinking of how many players are in the community from something as small as 5-6 years ago compared to now, it's just like the drop off is tremendous. The drop off in video views and search engine results and everything like that is just just plummeted, and it's just like it's just going to continue to plummet. The later it gets in, unless something big happens. And I feel like 1.1 had the shot to potentially bring a lot of players, but I feel like the bugs, the problems turned a lot of players off, because just to lose 300 as easily as you gained them is just crazy to me.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me like feared for like other updates that are like trying to do big things, like
exactly.
Seek Out Scrooge. the Pressbot boss or what Pressbot HQ basically. It's like people are still excited for this, and I don't think they're like expecting for like something huge though. But it's like people have been it's like people you gotta like you gotta make it like exciting for people. Like even though it's taking a little while, at least they still have stuff to do. But at the end of the day, if they were expecting something huge from it, I don't think they're gonna get that anymore because it's like been a little while, and it's okay if it's been a little while. At least you have stuff to put out with it. Where in the meantime, but like for if like the original idea for the people who were behind it back in like 2015, I believe that's when it first came out. 2016 when they started it. But like if they were expecting something huge from it, then I think that's going to be gone. Same with like Pressbot HQ. I think that might be gone. But like if they're still like expecting people to like want to play it, be humble about it, not like get something huge out of it, I guess it'll still be a win for them. But like at the end of the day, updates like field offices has been a hyped update
Oh
ever
my
since
god.
2018.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that shit. Holy fuck.
And like just to be told that like, okay guys, we have a actual working prototype in 2018. We got mover and shakers in this one. We even have some stuff we're gonna show off next year. And then to only be shown, hey, the cold color ice game 2 times in a row each year. Like, hey, here's the cold color mini game. Okay, 2019. Here's the cold color game. It's a little more finished. Here's the cold color game again. But it doesn't take that long to just finish that. That could be done maybe like few months.
When I spoke to somebody on ODS, bro, not ODS, Toontown Relived, when I was talking to the guy after I made that initial video, he was telling me that one dude on his team, one dude, not multiple, not a team, one single dude single-handedly created field offices in 1 month, and they have Lawbot field offices as well in that game. So it took him 1 month. So you tell me a whole team, it's just like too many excuses, bro. And people just keep buying into it and just keep hitting them with that same excuse of, this shit is they're working for free. And then that people are still saying that Tooniversal is paying their staff when literally he debunked that, like Broadway debunked that shit on my fucking podcast. Like I don't understand why people still don't understand. Like people in my Discord still are like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he pays them.
Nah, I don't think that anymore. Like he's even told everybody that as well. But like yeah, even then, like I even helped the game Cogs and Gags. I've helped that game. They got all 4 field offices out in just under a year.
That game is out?
Well, it's not out anymore. It's like it's shut down. But like when they were, well, it was finished. All of it was finished. Cashbot field offices was finished. BossBot, Lawbot, Sellbot, all that was finished. They did all of that in under just a few months.
Damn, what happened in that game? Like where'd it go? Just open source now?
I think it may be open. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but like I think the team lost motivation in that, but like still just it can be done for like these servers. If you're gonna take long with update, at least have something in between. Like that's what Corporate Clash did. That at least it helps them because they had something. But like with Rewritten, they have nothing. They have nothing to like release in that spare time. It's like, oh hey guys, we're gonna be doing field offices. It's like, okay, do you have anything else while we're waiting? Not really. No, just here's the main game. But that's not enough. You gotta have something in there as well because Rewritten you can only play Rewritten so many times before you get bored of it. You can only play Clash so many times before you get bored of it because you always need something that helps you keep coming back. Exactly. And if you don't have anything that keeps you coming back to the game, you're just gonna end up leaving it.
Were you expecting better from the Clo boss, or did it reach your expectations, or what?
I think the new boss was pretty good. I just thought there was only a few problems I had. I thought that was pretty good. Just the Lawbot revamp with like the new cogs. Basically, what I was saying is like, there's gonna be people who have expectations, and if you have high expectations for this update and waited this long, people are just not gonna care anymore because they've been waiting this long. But at the same time, they waited for this, and like some people can give the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, it's a team. It's like I wasn't expecting all that much because it's a free game. But like, there's gonna be also that people like, no, it's even if it is a free game, you still expect a lot from it because even if it's voluntarily, you still want to get what you expected from these updates. So there's certain people who have certain tastes. Like I'm sure the Corporate Clash team liked that update, And I'm pretty sure there's also people who also agree with that update. But there's also some people who didn't really like that update all that much. But I don't think that update will lead to Corporate Clash dying. I don't think that will. I think I feel like if things like they don't listen to people with their criticism, I don't think that's gonna help them because that's gonna lead more people to leave and eventually end up dying. Because even if you do update the game, you can also lose players just from the quality of them. I don't think I don't think 1.1 was bad. I don't think it was a really bad update. It's just if you're gonna make updates, you want to make them pretty good so people will like them. You want to make them as the best they can. But if it's not good, then people are just not gonna care anymore.
No, I agree. I agree 110%. Like I feel like there was a lot of potential with that. I feel like everybody was expecting kind of something better. I mean, I still like the update. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sound unappreciative or ungrateful or whatever. But I feel like a lot of people were expecting like, damn, it took you 2 years and this is kind of what we got, a buggy ass update that's just keeps having to get reworked and reworked and reworked. Like all this stuff should have been done prior. I feel like shit like that. Let's just say Toontown Written comes out with the field offices. Toontown Written is a different breed because their fanboys just suck the shit out of that game. But let's say the field offices were complete dog shit. Like because they're saying they're reworking, it's not gonna be the same ones. Then they say they're like revamping to have like a different type of feel for the field offices.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say they do it. And it gets terrible backlash. Who's to say people be like, yo, we waited this long. I've been playing this same shit game for X amount of time, and this was the shit we got. Fuck it, I'm done playing this game. And just they could lose, X amount of players just like that. So it's like I feel like when you put out these updates, you're putting your game on the line. No matter how much you have fanboys, at the end of the day, you put out something that's shit after all that time. A lot of people are gonna get a lot of backlash from it. Because not even necessarily if you quit. Like, let's just say you and me play together. You and me play Toontown Written. Let's just say you and me play all, every time we do shit together. Let's just say the update doesn't sit right with me and I quit. Who's to say you're like, damn, if he's not playing, well, fuck, I'm not finna play this shit either. So then you quit. So then, what I'm saying? They just have that chain trickle reaction all the way down. Then, it's a wrap.
Yeah, pretty much. And especially with, Rewritten's pace of updates, it really wouldn't help them if field offices wasn't as good as people thought it would be. But at the same time, it's who's to say since the update's not out. But people's expectations are getting higher and higher as the years goes on. After maybe 4 years, it's getting close to 4 years now. People are gonna be really mad if this update's bad. So you really gotta make this update great, or else people are gonna just not care about this update at all, or just be really mad with it to the point they're not gonna play the game anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So let's just my final question for you. I'm not trying to hold you up. I'm sorry. I didn't even expect to make you run it this long. But final question for you: if you had to say what server would go down first, what would be your picking?
It's kind of tough because you never know who's going to be the next one. But I feel like some servers that will die next is the ones with the least amount of support. If you're only just trying to keep a game up just because you're keeping it up for the sake of just having it up ODS, I don't think it'll die because there's still a fan base. That's kind of weird, but yeah, they still got a base for it. But for the games that are still trying to be relevant, still try to keep up, still get players, I don't know. That's it's kind of tough. I would probably, and this is not because I hate Fellowship. I think it may be Fellowship because they try doing a lot of updates, they try getting a lot of stuff out, but they're only limited to just one developer and no team at all. So they only have they do have a team. It's just no development team. I think Maxwell is just the only developer on that game, but I think because they're trying to keep out updates and make updates quick or stuff like that to help get people to play it. But I don't know. I don't think Fellowship may last. But if we were talking about the main four, that's a little. If we're talking the main four, offline written, Clash, Tooniverse, it's kind of hard to tell who will be the next game to die out.
Well, Toontown offline, they told me when I was doing that video with him, he told me that it would never die down because it's an offline service. You don't, it's offline, so it's no matter what, he's this shit's all downloaded, so you can come play this shit. He was 50 years from now, you could go play these. It's all offline, so he's you don't have to pay. We would never have to close down.
Yeah, pretty much, because somebody can host a server, or you could just play offline by yourself.
Exactly.
So that game can never die. But like, if we're talking like main 3, main 4, main however there still is, it's kind of hard to tell honestly, since like it's kind of hard to tell because you gotta update the game. You gotta like give it care and attention. There's people who are still dedicated to like keeping the servers up, but like I think if we're talking about the ones that are still relevant, I think maybe the smaller ones. I don't know the smaller ones anymore since it's. I don't know the smaller ones, but like the ones that get the least amount of attention, who do a lot of work. So like the game's sort of like Cogs and Gags. Like that game, that game was like shut down because I think the team just lost motivation to keep going. They were putting a lot of work into this game, but like nothing much was coming out of it. So it's like, who cares, honestly? It would just, I think the games who get like the least amount of attention, but like
Put in the most work.
Yeah, like something like that. The most amount of work are gonna die out. Like if you saw like Cog Invasion Online, they were putting like a ton of effort into the game, but like who was even talking? Like no one was really caring, talking about it. Like you couldn't play it because they were still working on it. So it's like a lot of people just didn't care enough to like be interested, focused. So I think that's what caused Cog Invasion to just shut down. But like games to like lose support, I think games like maybe Funny Farms, Fellowship, and like all the other small servers, I think that's the ones that may die in the near future. I don't know. Well, it's tough because you need a team, but like I think the smaller ones are probably going to go first. And then once those maybe go, I think the main 3 are just going to be the main 4, whatever 3 will be next in a way. Like they'll like when people are leaving, that's when like it's going to hit hard for them.
I completely forgot about fucking Toontown Funny Farm. I literally that shit skipped my mind. I forgot. Didn't they pretty much give up on that game?
Not really. It's just a lot of people. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of people have been leaving, but like some people have been leaving. Like Nathan, I think John left. But yeah, there's still some people working on it, but it's not like a main priority for them.
Did you expect Toontown Relive to shut down, or was that a surprise to you, or?
It was kind of a little bit of a surprise actually, because even though they don't even get any players, they're still like really respected. Like a lot of people care about that game, like really like noticed, cared about it. Like even though it didn't get that many players, I was like always thinking it was always the underdog of the community, but like people still cared about it, respected it, and would always constantly do updates. And they were even doing updates when it was about to shut down. So I found that a little surprising.
Yeah, when the crazy thing is, like, I recorded that video, and me doing my review. I got a lot of bad backlash from people within that community, but I was just being, completely honest. What I was expecting and what I got just wasn't, because even you were telling me like, yeah, it's a good game. They don't get the respect they deserve. So I'm like, okay, let me try this out. But at the end of the day, I would be just like, Mega Snooper and these other guys who, are scared to say the truth on their platform, and I don't know if he's scared, but he doesn't want to burn no bridges. I don't give a shit. So I'm like, okay, let me try it out. But it would be wrong for me to come up here and say, hey, this game is, I love this game. This game is great. And in reality, I'm like, this game kind of sucks. So I had to, keep it 100 and say what I didn't like and what I did like about the game. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were like, yeah, you want to rap about it rude, this and that. But that's just how I am. That's my personality. That's how I run my channel. And that's just how it was. But right before they announced they were shutting down, like right before I even made that video, they were telling me like, yeah, somehow some open crossy road, they were gonna open it or something along those lines, and they were just telling me about it. And then it just weirded me, like out of nowhere they're like, yeah, we're closing down in 3 days, like such short notice. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then I remember a lot of people were saying, oh, it was Pizza Maker that was the reason why Toontown Relive would be shut down. And I don't think because of someone saying they didn't like the game that would never happen. No, just because a content creator said, oh, they're the reason why it shut down. That's like, no. That's like, you're just being a little bit delusional. Because, like, there has to be, like, motivation with the team. There's just, like, people who are not interested working in the game anymore. And for no interest in the game, it's like, what's the point of keeping it open? So they're going to obviously just, close it down and just, leave all the memories behind they had with the game since because for them especially, they worked on that game for, like, I think roughly around since 2015. And they just weren't motivated anymore to like keep it up, so they just didn't see a point anymore, so they just shut it down after all that time. So it's like kind of weird, but like it came out of nowhere in a way, since like you saw the team like really excited. But I think the one update that like I think broke like the straw that broke the camel's back for Relived was like 1.5. It was supposed to be like the corporate class. It was supposed to be like the 1.1 for Toontown Relived. but like that update got like no attention, and I felt really bad that got no attention. Like I remember, I think I live streamed it one time, and like people didn't really care about that update all that much since all that time and work had been put into it. They were hyping it up, but no one cared about it at all. So I think around that time they were like thinking, if we're not going to get any attention from this, what's even the point of keeping it up? Just because our work is up, just to say that the game's alive or something. It's like they don't want to put all the money into it on keeping it up. So that's what ended up killing the game.
Yeah, everybody that was trying to blame me, they were all people that just like, they didn't give a fuck. They just wanted to push the blame. But I'm at the end right here because I got a fucking phone call I got to answer that's very important. So you have anything else you have to say?
No, I'm good.
I want to go ahead and say I appreciate you, dropping by to make this video with me. Y'all make sure to go check out his channel. I'll leave the link to his videos down below. And yeah, thanks again for coming and doing this duo video with me. I appreciate it, yo.
No problem.
All right.
Fun talking about this.
All right, yo. All right, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. It's your boy Pizza Maker 8000. I'm out.